Namaste, I'm Manish and I'd like to share BADAKONASANA with you. BADAKONA has become a bound angle, Bada, bound, cone, angle. It's become an important posture in our generation because everybody is sitting on chairs, the hips have become really stiff, the rigidity is there, and also just the fact that we have sedentary jobs, we're sitting at the workstation for hours together, it's made the entire body stiff. So to begin with BADAKONASANA, what you do is just sit like this, having your feet against each other. Very simple in terms of its explanations, but then there are a lot of beautiful subtle things that can happen well here. So you've just loosened out the knees, yeah? Now stretch your back, breathe in. Once you've stretched your back, start to reach out in the front. Now, what you're doing is you're elongating your spine. You're not hunching your back like this. You're elongating your spine and reach there. You can push the butt cheeks out so that you're on the sit bones. And you have a feeling that the tailbone's pushing you back. Once you're there, keep extending and extending till you can drop down. Now this is a very beautiful stretch, and if you give it enough time, say 3-4 minutes, slowly you'll find that the knees are dropping down. The hips, the groin, the inner thighs are opening out. If you find it very difficult, you can just make a little effort to keep your feet active. Yeah, if it's causing too much pain. The continuation of that pose is to then drop back down. Now some of you may need to put a bolster here, so that helps to open the chest more. You can even put a blanket, and that will help to open your chest even more. And you start to drop down. Give yourself time. You can put 2 blankets here to support the knees if it's causing pain in the inner thigh, and then slowly it will start to drop down. Preferably not a block, because then it can't go further down, but you can use a blanket. If needed, you can put 2 small sandbags, a pound each, sort of here on the groin, so that helps to open out. SUPTA, reclining, sleeping, BADAKONASANA, one of the most relaxing asanas in yoga. Over the next few minutes, if I were to stay here, eventually my knees will drop. Now you can do this for about 3, 4, 5 minutes. And once you're done, bring the knees back together and come. It's common sort of popular parlance nowadays to say that our emotions are stored in the hips. I wouldn't comment on that. That's armchair science. It's tough to prove. It's impossible to prove rather. But intuitively, a lot of people feel that their emotions are stuck in the hips, and when they get the hips open, they become much more expressive, they're able to let go of trauma, and so on and so forth. When we talk about the benefits for the body, opens up the hips, groin, inner thigh, and that very often releases tension in the lower back, although the lower back compensates for the stiffness. So that's one. In terms of mental effect, as I shared with you, letting go of emotional relaxation and so on. Whether the hips store emotions or no, we don't know. But we anyway know that doing this pose relaxes you, calms you down. It's a great pose to do when you wind down the day, when you move from day towards dusk. In terms of prana or energy, having the hips open allows prana to flow the way it should. Please do write into me with this 21st century yoga project. I'm very keen to know how these ancient practices are transforming body, mind and prana or energy for all of us in the 21st century. Namaste.